point-and-click piece of I can't say anything bad for another few seconds for YouTube reasons game, developed by Millennium Interactive and published by Psygnosis in 1995 for PC and 96 for PlayStation. The game I had angrily revisited against all of my better judgment, and my judgment is fucking horrible. There, I made it past the time quota, I think. This pain and suffering is brought to you by my Patreons. South Bohebio, It's Joe's Fault, Hiroshima, Porygon for the win, and SilverLoad. Your donations help keep me motivated to sit through games like this, so thank you! This is a game that Broseph and I had held in our collective memory as being most certainly a game experience. Back in 96, the PlayStation was still regarded as the big man on campus, the one churning out amazing after amazing looking title, sometimes having good gameplay to back it up. And using the technology of compact disc, this game was able to boast about its visual style, certainly thanks to some rather talented artists that paint a wonderfully dreadful atmosphere and potentially scary visage. Potentially in 96, I remind you. This stuff is rather tame by today's standards, although the imagery of this dead dude around this gallows is still warranted in my opinion. So what are you doing later? Just hanging out, huh? Some games in my youth stick with me, and this one has for decades now, and one of those reasons that this game is impossible. Point-and-click games are rarely easily completable, but this handy little title has a wonderful combination of obtuse goals, potential soft locks, and objectively, truly, the worst interface in gaming history, but we'll explore that in a second. What's important about this game is that we loved playing it, but it was so hard to make any progress past a certain point, and we finally just gave up. Something that just wasn't common back then. You start the game as Gunslinger, a half-native, half-white dude that speaks fluent Eastwood.
Population, 15,000, 10,293. What the hell happened here? Some kind of plague? Nothing out of the ordinary about that. Nothing out of the ordinary about that. I couldn't possibly take that.
Why did I describe his race? Well, the game really wants you to know that, as it's apparently important. Race or not, he's a goofy-looking fucker that you get to look at for the entirety of the experience, which doubles as something you never ever want to see in a point-and-click adventure game, a health meter. Right now we are at max health, meaning the gunslinger only looks like he hasn't eaten in a week. Somebody get this man a sandwich. After fumbling with the controls in this intro sequence, we stumble our way to this sad cowboy and a couple that are in a wagon, one of which is wounded from a recent raid.
Please go after my son. I'll pay you with my life, if only to see his face again.
Tell me about the town.
Me and my son went into that town. Weird name of SilverLoad. We went there to buy supplies and maybe catch up on what's been going on. The folk there were very unfriendly. The place felt as cold as a graveyard. As we left that unholy place, I swear that storm followed us.
How did you get here?
We've been on the trails now for about a year. We were heading for the frontier, mister. Me, my dear departed wife, and our son Ben have traveled with the Catlins all this time. After Mary, God rest her soul, died, the Catlins kept me strong and helped me keep it together with Ben.
Tell me about your son.
My boy will soon be 9 years old. I pray to God you can bring him back to me.
About the raid?
It was last night when they came screaming from that storm. It was as if they had come just for the children. John managed to get a shot at one of the raiders, but took a bullet in return, and now lies wounded in his wagon. The devils took Ben, and there was nothing we could do. I would go after them myself, but I dare not leave the others here unprotected. Devils.
Devils?
Devils in the bodies of men, eyes like the fires of hell. Lord, protect us all.
I feel exhausted. Can you help?
I'll give you what I can, mister.
Thus, our plot is set. We are to rescue this boy from a group of assholes in the bodies of men. But as soon as we try to make it towards the sand, we are turned away. I remember needing goggles to navigate, along with a compass on your hand to guide you. Simple. Have fun finding the goggles. Can you spot where they are? No. Start clicking. This is a great time to point out one of the worst parts about the game, and it's so subtle that I don't think a lot of people will even notice it outright. There is a tiny click whenever you click on anything. Like, we are all using controllers with buttons. They click already. I know when I'm mashing to find whatever magical spot the game devs thought made sense, but to anyone watching gameplay, you'll be subjected to a miasma of click, 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 click sounds. It's fucking maddening.
Godspeed go with you, stranger.
And the devil takes a liar's soul.
Anyway, the answer is to open the trunk with the use command, then take the boy's bear, and then you take on the empty spot that the teddy bear occupied. Let this set the standard going forward. After we navigate our way to the town, we'll be met with a hilariously cheesy face.
Be gone from here.
I love the drop in population here. In the middle of whatever caused things to collapse, they decided to update the census around the 5,000 less mark, and again with 0.02% remaining. Past this area shows off some nifty artwork some more. Just don't get too excited looking at the visuals, since this area is timed, and you will take 2 ticks of health off of here for not moving fast enough. We find our swinging man over here, but with no way to cut him down. He's just here for decoration at the moment.
It is now my 3rd night in this cursed town. My colleague Carl has gone missing. He was right after all. This place is haunted by things I dare not think about. I now know as long as we remain here, our sanity or our very lives are in danger.
Well, here we are. Wouldn't exactly call it a ghost town. Seems lively enough to me.
Have you found our anthropologist friend yet? I want the anthropologist. And I want him found in one piece. No mistakes, do you understand? Or I will have you hung from your own intestines.
Once we get to the hotel, I discover something that we either didn't know or don't recall. The very odd optional choice of subtitles. Not the option itself, that's nothing new, but the fact that you can't have audio and subtitles at the same time. And now, while we can't listen to the questionable voice work of this attendant, we are able to click freely without the audio feedback of not clicking on the right thing. So if you've made it this far and want to try this shit out for yourself, I say go with the subtitles. It runs smoother and is more digestible, and you might appreciate the characters more without the stereotypes thrown in most of them. For the interest of gaining footage for this game, I opted to switch to audio dialogue for the majority of it, so you're welcome. The first major obstacle occurs in either the hotel here or the barn, depending on where you choose to sleep for the night. Both will end in an instant game over if you don't blockade your sleeping quarters. Neither will heal you for any health, despite sleeping being the one actual thing in real life that heals you, but okay. Spend the night and loot the key behind the desk as to access this secret passage to the missing anthropologist.
I do not know who you are, mister, but I overheard you booking into the hotel earlier, so I know that you are not one of them. My name is Leo Remington, and I came to this town with my colleague Carl Whitehead. I believe he has met with foul play in this blighted place. We must be quiet, in case they overhear us talking.
Why are you here?
We were sent here on business, anthropology. Our task was to catalog and ship out a number of native Indian remains. I cannot say that there is anything sinister about our task, but Carl was convinced that some ill deed had gone on. We were both told to leave with the remains in a day's time.
Tell me about Carl.
My younger colleague Carl is prone to an overactive imagination and flights of fancy. Carl had told me the town was prone to a lot of local superstition. We don't see eye to eye over our work, but after his ravings of nightmare visions, I am beginning to believe him. You see, mister, 2 days ago, he told me that he was going to find out more about the town. He hasn't returned since.
He's a bit worse for wear on the account of being stuck in a tiny, disgusting room with only his journal, chamber pot, and mania to keep himself company. Now that we are clued in about his partner, we can make our way outside for the first confrontation, a group of bandits led by Christian Slater. You have the option to instigate a shootout, showing off this not at all good rail shooting sequence. This looked like shit even back then and is literally unfair to play, as enemies will spawn and begin shooting you off camera with the occasional automatic hit to your health without any way of preventing it. The only winning move is not to play. As in, suck up to dipshit here and they will meander away, since doing either option will result in the guy getting beaten to die from his injuries regardless. This game is bleak. I'm following a walkthrough on GameFAQs after this point, as I already know how impossible this game is without it. I'm told to make my way to the gun shop. Now, you might be thinking, where's the challenge in this? Well, let me tell you where the challenge is. I dare any person that plays this game to find anything within 10 minutes of clicking around and getting unbelievably lost. SilverLoad is heinous in its design of its pathways. In fact, I don't think it's designed. I think the well-drawn backgrounds were made up and the hotspots were glued together like some sort of science project, and any attempt of mapping this shithole out will end up looking like those crime-solving boards you see in every movie. It's one of those things I like to say. I hate getting good at this, knowing that this here leads to this screen, but this spot leads somewhere else. It's fucking criminal, dude. We are to buy the butthole watch, the bullet mold press, which is a required item to beat the game, and nothing else in this shop.
My, a customer. And what may I do for you, sir? Feel free to browse about the shop. It's not often I get customers looking the way you do.
I find it interesting to make this guy sound as wacky as he is, since the original PC version only has text, and this portrait is basically a silhouette. Were the devs like, hey, let's make this guy sound like Woody Allen. You do a great impression of him.
Oh, my Woody Allen impression. I'm a neurotic nerd who likes to sleep with little girls.
Hey, that really sucked!
After leaving the gun shop, we make our way to the general store. Before then, the vultures take aim at our protagonist, implying that they are spying on him, because they are. Once inside, we are sort of greeted by overweight Irish Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes, sir, what may I do for you? Don't take too long in deciding, I haven't got all day, you know.
Our key items to buy here are oil, a lantern, matches, and as many healing bandages as we can buy. Next, we swing by the saloon and this big old dumb guy resting outside.
Oh, so tired. What are you looking at, mister? You'd be tired too if you had to lug this cart around all day.
Again, it's a strange decision to make him sound like the guy from Mice and Men rather than just any old guy. It doesn't seem like his portrait matches the character created with this voice actor, in my opinion. It's implied you should get this man a well-deserved drink, so head on inside to the wonderful sounds of drunken people enjoying themselves after a long day. Well, that's some ambience there. Talk to the barkeep and snatch up a couple of beers, and maybe play a game of stereotype Yahtzee to up your dollar count.
How you doing, stranger? You look like an hombre who has taken a few chances in their time. Do you feel lucky? How about taking a chance on a little game?
Eventually, you will want to talk to the lady of the house upstairs.
A gunslinger, huh? Well, you look like a man who can more than take care of himself. What you doing in SilverLoad?
I'm looking for a kidnapped child.
And you think that this child might be here? Look, we can't talk here like this. Go to the street outside and climb the tree to my room. For your sake, make sure no one sees you. How dare you! Get out of my sight! Forgive me.
I get the idea that you shouldn't follow her to her room, but I feel like making a huge scene with the slap invites a lot more trouble, but maybe I'm just out to lunch. Sneaking up to her room via this tree will prove to be a fatal operation unless you imbibe this simple, hard-working man with some ice-cold brew.
That was good. Another one.
Or two of them.
That's better.
Snatch the sledgehammer and this super obvious crowbar and make your way up the tree.
Maybe you are the one I have waited for all this time. Please, don't think I'm crazy. Oh my God, it's him! The sheriff! Quick, hide!
I remember what to do here, but if you are caught off guard like I was, you're treated to a unique and utterly terrifying game over sequence.
What the hell are you doing in here? I don't like anyone messing with my woman. You are history, my friend. Scum.
That shit's harsh, even by today's standards.
Do you have to intrude upon me in such a manner?
Shut up, Sheila. We have trouble. A gunslinger's made his way into town. I'm telling you this because I do not want you trying on your usual tricks. Leave this little problem to me and my men.
What if he is too much of a man for you? Then what will you do?
You tramp. Stay out of this, Sheila. The preacher's growing impatient with all of us, and I, for one, want to get out of this hellhole alive and in one piece. Stay in your room and stay out of trouble.
There's no sound of the sheriff backhanding Sheila, and I'm not sure if that was some kind of censorship. Seems likely that Battery is going way overboard in a game where devoured by werewolves and buried alive. Gotta maintain that M rating. After this ordeal, you can make your way back to the hanging man to get the rope off of him using a butcher knife. He has loaded dice in his pocket, which implies pretty heavily on what led him to this fate. Sometimes, such as when I was in the heat of a Halo 2 versus match, hearing a teenager yelling to his little brother to hit the standby button on the router each time I was approaching him, I kind of wish cheating to win at a game really was punishable by hanging. I call those weekdays. Approach the Undertaker, who's pre-biker phase, and ask for a picture. This is a timed section to nab the dead man's hook and the other item in this screen. Go ahead, look for it. I'll give you 10 seconds to find it. It's this hammer. That's right. Here's what we never found as kids playing this game. Obviously, we were dumb shits for not seeing this. Are you starting to see what makes me hate this game so much in retrospect? It's such a great vibe and a unique experience, but it's just so goddamn frustrating to progress.
You stand over by the bank robbers, and I'll take your picture. That's good, sir. Now, stand very still.
We find our other anthropologist in the abandoned smithery, reminding me of every time I see a insert joke about something you're addicted to.
Get away from me! I'll kill you if you come near me! I can't control myself! I am... Carl Whitehead. I'm changing who I used to be. I was bitten by one of those creatures. I have lost a lot of blood. I need blood.
SilverLoad, with all of its faults, often, mercifully, gives pretty clear direction on what certain characters need. What's that smell? It's blood! I sort of forgot about Plague of Gripes for a bit, somehow, but here he is in my brain again, rent-free. If you haven't seen the objectively greatest parody of Dark Souls before, now's your chance. For God's sakes, watch this and his other parody as well.
That is racist. I'm sorry. Take my weird-ass shield, puppy Sif. It'll protect you from urban violence. Wish me luck. I'm off to fill Manus's man cavern with my Estus flask.
Don't worry, he's not a furry because he says so. Where was I? Use the rope on the well and not do the thing you do in literally every game in this sequence. No, you have to go into the well to retrieve the bucket and click somewhere to leave this screen. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Almost got it there, champ. Nope.
Nothing happens.
Nope. No.
Nothing happens. Nothing happens.
There you go. Fuck this game. Off to Butcher's Bay.
Just what are those kids playing with?
This being one of the last things I recall us doing on our own before quitting the game, I recall bleeding the pig out into a bucket, and against all logic, you do not place the bucket underneath the swine beforehand, as that would make sense. Cut the bad boy open. The pig was a peddler of children, so we're all good here. And then place the bucket underneath. While it's not human blood, it's at least enough to sate our boy so he can find a nearby Subway to eat a 10-foot hoagie.
May God have mercy on my soul for what I have become. Thank you for trying to help me. I have to be far from here. Try and kill myself.
Our time is almost upon us. Tomorrow night, all shall be in place. Yet I foresee chaos within our order.
Chaos, my lord.
That gunslinger has become a liability. He could ruin our plans. Your men should have killed those settlers when they took the child. I want you to use all of your powers at your disposal and rid me of this worm.
Pick up the journal for some backstory. The shovel.
A shovel. A shovel.
I know it's a fucking shovel. Pick it up. And the tongs, so you are free to leave this place. Use the tongs on this statue somewhere and pull this token out. Add this to the list of utter bullshit interactions to make the game progress. Worse still, this item is not needed till nearly at the end of the game, meaning that this is incredibly easy to miss. We then head into Town Hall and break in via crowbar. Head upstairs to witness the transformation of this dude. Once you grab a key and open the desk, you get a chance to catch up on some more lore. As noted in Grim Daddy's review a half-decade ago, the game softlocks here if you fail to grab the spell located on the bookshelf in a specific spot before using whatever hotspot is required to push open the shelf. Let's see where it is.
A hidden room.
Inside the hidden room is a typical altar containing a pentagram. The obvious solution, as always, is to equip the bookcase spell and hold it in your hand as you walk into the symbol, transporting you into a sort of occult closet. Here, I get very angry at the verbiage of the walkthrough. It says to look at each side of the room to do various things. but what I need to do is to walk to each side of the room prior to doing so, since we need to do this in close-up mode.
Nothing out of the ordinary about that.
Yep, nothing out of the ordinary about that. We take the vial from the shelf of curiosities and head out like a baby in a jar. The next obvious direction that I missed as a 15-year-old was to head over to the RE7 house and pry the nails loose using a hammer found on the ground, then using a crowbar to pry open the boards. We open a crate with the crowbar. This crate, not one of the other 7 crates and 2 barrels to free a native spirit.
Free me. Take this skull, my child. I am trapped within these bones. You have the blood of my people running in your veins. Together we must destroy this place. Take me far from here, to the shrine above the mountain. I will aid your quest.
Once we're done here, we have to obviously backtrack to the cemetery to dig up 2 graves. It's the one on the left and the one on the right. Oh, this is a timed area. I just took hits. Game's great. I'm having a great time. I finally solved the riddle of where the fuck do I click to find the first grave, and just in time to demonstrate the other bullshit factor of this game. Just moments ago, in the video, not gameplay, that was 10 minutes of clicking on empty spaces, I explained how we needed to walk to each side of this room to get to the close-up of the objects we are to interact with. But let's just change the rules of this grave, as walking to the close-up is incorrect. You need to look now. Let's just keep on moving.
They are the memories of the man and woman who cared for you after your original mother abandoned you. They loved you as if you were one of their own. They came to this place when you were but a child. They were killed without honor by the men here, just as my people were killed. That is the past you have denied for all this time.
They will pay for the murder of my parents. If I die in the attempt, so be it, if that is to be my destiny.
So our protagonist and this basement skull are aligned on a motive to put the end to the baddies of SilverLoad. So after we cross over to the other grave, we are to smash the sigil inside for some reason. With all the to-dos accomplished for day 2, we head back to Sheila for some exposition.
Still alive, I see. And judging by your expression, you know a little more about what goes on here. Take it easy. You're safe here for now. I know you are after that child they took. I, too, need your help. I have to get out of this hell trap. There is one way I can be free. Silver must be fired through the sheriff's filthy heart. This, I believe, will end the bloodline to me. Silver is the only thing that can harm or even kill them. And, as you can imagine, Silver isn't exactly the easiest thing to come by here. I need to find my father, kill that scum of a sheriff, and get out of this madness. You are the one who can do that. I suggest that we get some sleep and then rise with the sun. It is too dangerous to go out at night, because they come out at night. The preacher, he is the one that is in control here. He is the leader of the order. A satanic cult that seems to believe they will soon be free of the curse that binds them here. The church on the hill, beyond the bridge, is their place of evil worship. No one but members of the order see the inside of that church. The sacrifices take place under the cover of darkness. The sheriff has boasted to me about such goings-on. If that child is still alive, and I do believe that he is, he will be kept there for tomorrow night. I guess you must be exhausted. There is something you can do for me right now. Hold me.
Ooh, holding, you say?
No!
There's something delightfully uncanny and off-putting with these cutscenes. I can't get enough of them. With day 2 complete, it's time for the most batshit of all days to commence. First, we head to the bridge, where Sheila is helping us direct towards our goals, something I find extra irritating as this game has been insufferably difficult in its direction up to this point. Now in the third act, the game is being lenient and giving us clear direction for the first time. Like, shit or get off the pot, game. Head to the preacher's house and open up the typical chair door to grab this thing. Go to the observatory and spot the location of a train. This is a required action, mind you, and head back to the quarry. Remember that coin we got from the statue, using tongs from a blacksmith, gate kept by a feral human that you fed pig's blood, from a bucket found in a well via a rope from a swinging dead man, brought down by a butcher's knife found in a kitchen? You hand this guy that token. The game now gets to continue. Sheila's now reunited with her father behind the gates in this slave quarry. That doesn't last as we need some action, baby. Bam, boom, bullshit. Side note, what the hell happened to Sheila here? After a brief reunion, I decide for a quick trek back to the general store to max out my healing, after swindling our very trustworthy stereotype out of a couple of bucks to afford some more bandages. This game is evil. Once inside the mines, you need to move this cart from one end to the other. This will pay off, trust me. Combine our items to make a lantern. This is a good time to point out the system for interaction, which is inherently not the worst idea, just implemented poorly. To combine things, you need to put it in your hand and then select the item from the list to bring it over. Why you simply cannot put one item selected to the other goes against the SilverLoad code, I suppose. But the fact that you can't move over from the menu directly, but rather up and over, and not too close to the item menu. I'm getting in the weeds here. The interactivity sucks donkey balls, and I would know. We reach a chasm, traversable only by Indiana Jonesing across. All we need to do is combine the hook with the rope. Where's the rope? Ah, fuck. Now that we are across, I have a mental breakdown over the walkthrough that I am now going over line by line. He says after crossing the gap, we need to go left through some rocks and smash them up. Like right here, right? Those look glowy, but I can only walk to it, transporting me to some strange land. What the hell is this guy on, I says to myself, until I finally watched a YouTube video on it, saving me countless hours of clicking like in the old days. You were supposed to walk into this indiscriminate wall of background, and then your rocks are free to be smashed up. Even after smashing the sulfur out of these rocks and leaving the screen, the hallway is unchanged. Have I mentioned how much I hate this fucking game? The werewolf blocks your path, and the only logical solution is to set the sulfur at his feet and light a match under his toes, sending him into the abyss. Let's wrap this shit up. Grab the pickaxe head, dynamite, and raw silver from this area, and head back to the creepy land at the end of the hallway. Use the skull in the center area to summon the wolf spirit.
I am told of your quest, little mortal. The evil that I thought once imprisoned is again on the move.
Voice acting is hard, man. This guy tried, you could tell.
Gunslinger! I know that you can hear me. You're trapped. You hear me? Trapped. Me and my men have you surrounded. I want you to put your guns into the cart and push it out to us. Then I want you to follow. Failure to do as I say, and you can say goodbye to this pair of traitors.
He will kill us anyway.
You're confronted at the mine entrance, so the only play here is to load the cart with lit dynamite and roll the cart back to the front. See, I told you that was going to pay off. Well, that move really pissed off the sheriff.
He's dead. The sheriff shot him. Me too. Silver bullet. I'm dying. Me and my father. At last, we are free of all madness.
Well, that's a happy ending to the game. Ah, fuck, there's more. Using the knowledge of the train from earlier, we used the stove to heat up the pan filled with silver, but only after using the gloves on our hands that we found earlier. Take the melted down material and pour it into the molder, and we have ourselves a means to actually kill the furries running amok.
You fool, he is still alive! I should kill you right now. No. Death would be too easy an escape for you. Gather your foot soldiers together for the last time and stop him from reaching the church.
Ooh, the intro screen. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, AIDS, is an ongoing, also called chronic condition. It's caused by the human immunodeficiency virus, also called HIV. HIV damages the immune system, so the body is less able to fight infections and disease. AIDS is the most advanced stage of HIV infection. HIV attacks and weakens the immune system, specifically targeting CD4 cells, also known as T cells or helper cells. As the immune system deteriorates, various symptoms can appear, including rapid weight loss, recurring fever, extreme tiredness, prolonged lymph node gland swelling, persistent diarrhea, sores, pneumonia, skin blotches, and neurological issues like memory loss. According to the World Health Organization, an estimated 630,000 people died from HIV-related causes in 2023. This represents a significant decrease from a peak of 2.1 million deaths in 2004. To learn more about AIDS, we need to look no further than this shooting segment of SilverLoad, which may very well be the reason that there remains no cure for AIDS, especially this final enemy that automatically gets in 5 or 6 shots before you're even able to shoot him once. After the sheriff and his boys are toast, you are left in front of a church where some guys cosplaying as wizards are guarding the front. Our protagonist, who just murdered about a dozen of the other men, can't just go up and blast these guys apparently, so we are here to use the most confusing solution of the game so far. Backtrack to the secret green room in the town hall. Use the spell that you used there, and then swap to another spell that you found in your travels in that room to be teleported again to the ritual ceremony right as they were about to snuff the boy we are to save.
Come on, kid, I'm getting you out of here.
One last shootout remains, where we get to murk a bunch of werewolves and this giant ostrich in preacher clothes. Finally, we are able to get some closure on this story. Oh, it's over. Optionally, to get the remaining 3%, I had to blow up the church with dynamite, but I am so angry with this game that even that much effort is not worth firing up the old duck station for. Look guys, I'm no game developer. Actually, I technically am, with a 100% approval rating.
That's great. Press tab to open cursor. Oh, it's the old harshly critical logo. That's a nice touch. I haven't seen that thing in forever. Locked. Yeah, I lock my door from the inside. Just go with it.
So I retract my humility. I am a game designer god, and I have a few words with the programmer of this game, Keith Hook, wherever you are. As a starting point, when you go into an area by moving using the required command, as you're segregating key movements into 3 separate button presses to cycle between them, one of which is used twice in the fucking game, I'm literally angry writing my thoughts on this experience, so as an experience, instead of deleting it like you should with that email directed at your boss, I'm keeping it and probably will be pissed as I'm speaking the lines, and as expected, I'm getting angry just reading it back. There are 6 commands to do anything. Take, talk, walk, look, operate, and sleep, which is used twice in the game, I remind you. This is inherently not the worst idea ever, if it's executed correctly. It is not executed correctly, but let's pretend these work remotely as intended. When you have this level of division to complexify, it's not a word, but I'm making it exist for this video. That's how mad I am. When you add this level of complexity to the game, you also don't need to make your hotspots absolutely the worst in the history of all games. Am I being hyperbolic? No, I am not. It's fucking bad, dude. Worse than anything in Chronicles of the Sword, including that key hidden in literally nothing, since this game has multiple instances of pulling things out of thin air. There are many instances of just having to know where they are to progress. Movement in the game requires a type of memorization that puts me in a bad mood just thinking about it. Think of your current job or a job you used to do. Certainly there is or was a task that you have done that is so inherently stupid that there are dozens of easier ways to accomplish it, but it's just how the job is done. So you get good at doing something stupid. I am now a journeyman of moving from screen to screen in SilverLoad on PSX. Should I frame that? Are you impressed? A fair amount of screens let you move back to where you came from by moving around the bottom, kind of, until they change the angle for no reason. But how do I get to this screen from here? It's not this indistinguishable spot, but the one that's 20 pixels below it. It's lunacy. SilverLoad on PSX really had great atmosphere for the time. A lot of the nuance has lost its luster, but back then, this was a damn good looking game. The shootouts definitely were off-putting, and being on rails could have looked way better. What this game failed, as many old games did, was to utilize sound more effectively, with some really generic sounds thrown in as filler. And whatever noise this is for digging a grave. I'm genuinely curious where this sound came from, as that's 100% Doomguy's grunt sound, but also molds into the rest of the grunting. Was Doomguy's grunt taken from a stock sound somewhere? I could Google it, but that takes effort, and my friends, I am out of it at the moment. SilverLoad took a lot out of me. The visuals are one of a kind and are the mainstay of this title for me. The strange rotoscoped images try to convey something horrifying, but come off as cheesy, but in an endearing manner. It's the best kind of uncanny valley, where you can't quite reason with yourself as to why you like to look at it. The voice work is what it is. You didn't have budgets to afford voice actors back then, so performances were typically luck of the draw, and some people have to learn to do your voice work in one session whenever possible, so their hormone levels and other factors don't pop right off the screen like in these examples.
Not without that kid. I gave my word.
What the hell happened here? Some kind of plague? Was that some kind of ghost I saw?
Carrying of firearms is prohibited. Yeah? Well, it looks as though there's no one left alive to shoot.
You're basically starting the next chapter of your adventure. The next overworld area opens up things quite a bit. Ugh. Live and learn, I say. It was strangely fun revisiting this game from our childhood, but knowing well ahead of time just how impossible this game is due to the worst hotspot placement in point-and-click history set this game down many points, along with its incredibly inconsistent flow, non-existent visual cues, and opaque pacing. Turned what could have been a great game that we all remember into something I think we all collectively forgot existed, just like Zima.